Welcome to the Big East Rewind. Like Sonny Spira, I am solo because my man Chuck is doing some good things for 7 Up, excuse me, 7-Eleven Fuel. He's running around entertaining his boss and some other folks, and I don't think he'll be able to make it while we record. Got a good friend, former Orangeman and former BU Bearcat, and former Marquette man, Symir Torrence, Syracuse local who went on and you did a year at prep school, right?
2 years.
2 years at prep school, and highly regarded, highly recruited. Shaka smart enough brings him in. He spent 2 years with Marquette, and then he came to Syracuse for two, and then did a little graduate work down here in Binghamton. So, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Appreciate you. Thank you. And I'm doing good. And it was actually what I came in with Steve Wojciechowski, and then Shaka Smart came in after me. So I didn't get to experience that. But
Oh, wow. So Wojo was the guy that recruited you.
yeah,
Okay.
Rojo recruited me.
So
And
you
it was
played.
actually Dwayne Killings. He was the assistant at Marquette, and now he's the head coach at U Albany. He actually recruited me, and then him and Wojo started recruiting me both together.
Okay. So did you play 1 year at Wojo, or was Wojo gone when you got there?
No, no, no. I played 2 years. So I played my freshman year in 2019, and then the end of 2019, that's when COVID happened, and then I played COVID uh that 2020 year, and both of those years were with Wojo.
Okay. All right. So Shaka comes in. Okay. Because the one thing I noticed is your fitness level is off the charts.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No, really, I wanted to talk about it later, but let's hop into it right now because I was gonna assume because Shaka's like well known for his fitness, but I know Wojo was a big fitness guy as well.
Yeah, he came from obviously one of the best programs in the United States, Duke. And he played there, so he kind of took everything that he learned there and then kind of brought it to Marquette, and that's what made like the players that he recruited. So
He was a big discipline guy, right? Wasn't he? Like,
yeah, he was really strict. It's kind of hard to think. That was so long ago from now. His practices was intense. Um, Worked on like very few things as a team, but we had like a main goal. But yeah, he was a good coach. He was very intense.
now Marquette was in the Big East at the time, right?
They're still in the Big East.
No, but at the time you were there, you were in the Big East, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you happen to play with the leading scorer, the guy that was leading scorer in the Big East, the guy that
Marcus Howard.
upset Lawrence Moulton? I don't know if I wanted to mention it, but Lawrence is my guy, but go ahead.
Yeah, Marcus Howard. Yeah. That was a like kind of like a welcoming to like college basketball, and I think me personally, in my opinion, my freshman year was like kind of like the best like year as in talent level that I've had in college. And I feel like once I got older, it kind of dimmered down. But um, yeah, Marcus Howard, I was playing again. I was playing with him, and I feel like that year is when he actually like took off for sure because he was already talked about a lot. And then he played John Morant in the NCAA tournament, and then that happened, and people were like just wondering like what kind of year he's gonna have for his senior year, and he like just proved everybody wrong. Like he's one of the best scorers that there is, and then obviously he proved it in the Big East. So
What was his, just talk a little bit about him. What was his secret sauce, right?
secret sauce. I'll give you two. So he would live and die in the gym. Um, that's why he was making so many shots. That's why when it came to the game, it was just so much easier for him. He was able to make difficult shots, even at the size that he was at. He was 5'11", maybe 6 foot on a good day. So that's one. He lived in the gym, and then for two, his conditioning. Um, he was always in top tier shape, and he's one of those guys where like you would rather guard him on the ball than off the ball, just because if you're guarding him off the ball, you're gonna get hit at least once. But he's coming off through screens, so it's kind of hard to navigate and uh, kind of try to disturb a player like that who's in top tier shape. It's kind of like Steph Curry. Like everybody talks about, like they would rather guard him on the ball than off the ball because he doesn't get tired.
So let's talk about your time recruiting, right? So you said the assistant with Woj was the guy that kind of initially started recruiting. Did
Yeah.
they follow you in the Syracuse days, or did they kind of get more in touch with you when you went to prep school?
Um, could you like what do you like? So Dwayne Killings was the one that started recruiting me. He was before he was at Marquette, he was at UConn. So he's recruiting me at UConn, and then he went to Marquette, then still recruited me, and then that's how that happened. And then now he's the head coach at UAlbany.
But were they following you when you were in high school in Syracuse?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because you were a big name. You were a big recruit. Now, was Syracuse in that mix at all at that time?
They were, but it wasn't a decision. It wasn't like an option because of the time frame. I was truly like a 2020 class guy, and then I reclassed to 2019. And Syracuse had already had 3 to 4 guards on their roster, where they had uh who was there? Joe committed. They had what's his name?
Jalen Carey.
They had Jalen Carey. They had Kamari coming in. Kadari coming in the following year. They had a couple more.
Yeah, they had a Delphine. Can't remember his name, but he was another guard. Okay. Oh, Bryce Goodine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bryce. They had Bryce too as well. So, and then
Okay.
obviously they had Buddy. So they had
So
a lot of guards in that spot. So I didn't think it was a good fit for me.
so you're not going to tell me it was the ACC that set you that didn't get after you. It was the you had the Big East in your heart, right? Just
Yeah, yeah.
okay. All right. Well, now let's talk about the Big East. Was that something that was a part of your, desire and wish that, hey, I want to play in the Big East?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching it like my entire childhood life, and with Syracuse being in the Big East, that kind of helped. Um, so like I kind of basically forced myself into liking the Big East. But it was nothing but like competitive teams, and back then, like 2010 days, the Big East was like probably the best conference as far as basketball there was.
Mhm.
Now it's a little bit, obviously, it's a little bit off, but still the same way.
So, did you have a guy growing up in Syracuse? I mean, everything's orange up there. So, did you have a guy that you followed, a guy that patterned your game after, or a guy that you looked up
Well,
to? Who were some of the guys from Syracuse that?
there was a lot of guys, but Johnny Flynn was like my guy. Like I love Johnny Flynn. That was my favorite Syracuse basketball player. Everybody loves Melo, but I wasn't. I was 2 years old when Melo came to Syracuse, so I didn't get to watch Melo. But Johnny Flynn was my guy, and then kind of liked MCW just because we play the same position and his length and my length. So I kind of mocked my game after him a little bit. Um, and other than that, it was just a lot of NBA guys that I mocked my game after. But those two guys for
Gotcha.
sure.
Gotcha. So, who was your high school coach at the time when you were in high school?
So I had what did I have? I had three because I went to prep school. So my first year was Coach Honor. Um, he's a Turkish guy. He was there. He had brought me up to varsity. This is kind of when it all started. This is kind of how I blew up. Um, I was playing JV as seventh grader, and then eighth grade, I got moved up to varsity, and then probably like mid season, I was starting. So that uh kind of just gave me the confidence to like play against older guys and kind of work hard as them and just not be afraid to be on the court with them. So that's when that took off. And
Well,
then I
I,
went to
I
prep school and
remember.
then was coached by Alex Porter. Yeah.
I heard about you. I knew about you. So, where did the talk a little bit about going to prep school, right? Was that something that was always on the horizon, or did that something that said, hey, listen, this is going to get you a little bit more opportunity or exposure, or maybe a chance to mature a little bit? But in the case you actually classified yourself a little bit younger, but who gave you the idea about prep school, and what was your kind of hopeful plans there?
Yeah, I kind of knew that like that was the best route to take um as far as if I wanted to excel and get to the best leagues there were, the best conferences there were in college basketball. Um but it didn't come until later. Like obviously sophomore year. Um, and like I said, like that just kind of just took took me to where I needed to go. And prep school is a whole different experience. It's kind of more similar like overseas in a way, just because you're isolated away from a lot of things that you do.
So talk about that. Going, you're in prep school as essentially a high school junior, right?
Yes, so I was really a sophomore, junior, but I was a junior, senior.
All right. So you're what, 16?
Yeah, about 16, 17.
So what was it like being on your own now?
It just kind of it was different because well, it wasn't. It was different in the aspect of just not seeing like my mom and dad every day when I wake up and stuff like that. So I just had to get used to like um just not being around family as much. It
Hmm.
kind of just put me in like a young man stage where I had to kind of grow up and figure out what to do on my own. Um, but like it's a grind, and it just explained to me that if I really loved the game, that it was gonna take me far, and if I took it serious, and then that's what I did in prep school. I just kind of took it as as the biggest lesson that I could have. Just because it was only gonna be for like a couple years, and I knew I could get the best out of it. Um, it was just basketball and ball up there. It wasn't nothing else. You could barely watch TV just because of the connection. And yeah.
So it's almost like what they do in Europe, right? Were you practicing longer periods of time because of prep school?
I was in the gym a lot more just because it was nothing else to do. So I would just go to the gym and shoot. I would say that.
Okay. Out of necessity, you were in the gym. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna take it back a little bit further. When you're growing up, who introduces you to the game?
My sisters, my three older sisters that play basketball. Um, like I said, I'm close to my family. I'm definitely close to my sisters, and this is definitely the reason why they will always come home after practice and just talk about basketball and play basketball in the backyard. And I will always just want to play with them. So kind of just put the ball in my hands, and just watching them grow up through high school and AAU just made me want to play basketball.
So at what age did you finally able to beat them
Probably like I want to say like 12, 13 maybe.
then?
12, 13. Yeah,
So
because
they were
that's when I had
schooling
like
you
a
for a
growth
while.
spurt. Yeah, yeah. They was making sure that I didn't get nothing easy. So
Well, I know your mom a little bit. We're friends on Facebook, and she you can tell there's a very strong family bond, right? So you
yeah.
have just review now. You have three sisters,
I have three sisters and two brothers. One
two
older,
brothers, right?
yep, and one younger.
Now your younger brother is playing football,
Yep.
and where did he play?
He's at Boston College.
Boston College. Okay, we'll still talk to him though, even though he's at Boston College. Sorry. I remember when he was signing, your mom put a lot of stuff up, but she always talked, and you could just tell when you could see a family tight knit, right, and you could feel it, and then in talking to you, you can just hear it. So that's to me, that's like your backbone, your fiber, right? Especially you're away at prep school.
Yeah,
You don't have some good family bonds. Being away, being alone sucks, you know?
it does.
It does. Yeah, forget the cooking. You haven't mentioned mom's cooking yet, which I know is in the mix, but being away is not easy. But
Yeah.
all right, so let's talk now the recruitment process, right? We've talked to a bunch of other guys, and everything's just a little bit different since they were involved with you and knew about you early, and now you're going from Syracuse to what was the prep school, Vermont?
Yep. Vermont Academy.
Okay, so Vermont Academy, yeah, not in the middle of the most exciting part of the country. So now, but you're closer to UConn,
Mm, yeah.
and then that coach leaves. So did that mean there was more visits to your practices? What did that recruitment look like?
Yeah. That recruitment was it was back then. It was really good. And I had a top five player in the country on my team, Symir. So I was playing with him my sophomore year, and he had probably if not every school in the country, he had majority of the schools of the countries coming to see him. So they kind of just accidentally saw me, and then that's what kind of spreaded rumors about me, good rumors, and just coaches started to look at me more.
So who did it come down to? Who was in your top recruiting five?
So it was Cincinnati, Butler, and Marquette, two Big East schools, and then one American. There was an American at the time.
Hmm. Okay. Similar part of the country too,
Yeah.
Midwest, right? All right. So what was why Marquette then? What sold you?
Um, I had like a really strong relationship with the players. On my visit, we just kind of bonded well. And then obviously like talking with the staff, they was talking really highly of me, and and at the time it just seemed like the best fit. Uh, you know, being young, you kind of just get excited in the moment. Um, and I could say like I didn't take it for granted or regret any decisions. It was just a really good moment for me, and I just thought it was the best fit at the time.
Okay. Now, we talked a little bit about conditioning because Lavelle mentioned the one thing that you brought to the table immediately was the preseason workouts, and the intensity was ratcheted way up,
Yeah,
and that was all he said 100% on you, and the fact that there became much more accountability. Like, okay, we're doing this run tomorrow. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to kick your ass. And you were taking receipt. You needed everyone to know this is what was expected. So the whole level around the Bearcats, the Binghamton team, changed. Was that expected of you, or is that just who you are?
I was so at that time I was coming in with a chip on my shoulder, and I'm big on like first impressions. So coming from a school like Marquette, Syracuse, and then dropping all the way down to Binghamton, it's like, all right, like I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what type of players I was gonna be playing with. Like, what kind of example can I set? And everybody has opinions. Everybody has like
Mm-hmm.
just thinking that way. So I'm thinking, all right, coming in with these players, they're probably like, oh, okay, like he's a high major, like maybe he's not that good just because he's coming down here. I didn't want anybody thinking like that. Like I worked my ass off in the gym, so it was an everyday grind, and every moment that we had practice, I wanted it to be fun and competitive, and just getting that game, that the love for the game back. And I feel like that's what I brought to the practices. But as far as what you're saying, like what Lavelle said, it was just like really competitive, and I didn't want to lose anything. I think the first, I want to say, month, I was 1-2 in everything. If not, it was everything was one. So I just really
Yeah.
wanted to come in with that type of statement. Like I'm not here to play around. Like this is my last season. Like I want to go out with a bang. Um, and then I feel like that's what I did. I ran into some injury issues during the season, but kind of fought through them. I wish they would
Mm-hmm.
never happened. I feel like we would have went a lot farther if I didn't have injuries, but it is what it is.
That's what he said. If you weren't first in the run, if you were second, then you like personally took offense. You had gotten that.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was a new sheriff in town, right? And things changed. And for a young head coach, for like himself, Lavelle, who sort of I think just got his proper contract. I think he was interim for a year and then was named, the coach, and now the program reflects him now. You can see it. You can see it in the
Yeah.
players. You can see how he does things. And he's first class all the way, coming from a Seton Hall background playing, right? He knows where that level is at, right? So
Yeah.
he knew it, and he knew your motivation in coming here, dropping down a level or two for sure, was I'm here to play, and we're not messing around.
Hmm.
So yeah, kudos to you. That was not unnoticed by not just him, but the community too. Was like, oh, this
Appreciate it.
kid's for real.
Yeah.
So talk about now. You're at Marquette. You're in the Big East. What are some of your memories of opponents or opposing gyms or opposing fan bases?
Yeah. I played against like I said, like my freshman year was my favorite year as far as like talent. like I played against a lot of talented guys, and I don't know if you remember Miles Powell, Senior
Mm-hmm.
Hall. Like I played against him. Him and Marcus had like a little rivalry going back and forth on who was the best in the Big East, and they were fighting for that Player of the Year. Um, and then you had Marcus Zagorowski at Creighton. He was one
Mm-hmm.
of the best guards in the country at the time. You had Kamar Baldwin at Butler. He was a elite scorer. Um, Villanova was always good. They had
Mm-hmm.
always good players. I'm trying to think, but as far as like the crowds,
Yeah, or
Creighton was
just the environment, right? Like when
yeah,
we played in the old Seton Hall gym,
yeah,
Walsh Gymnasium. Man, and then Boston College's little bandbox, we played at Roberts Center. Those gyms sucked.
yeah,
They were all awful to play at. And then when you got in bigger arenas, it was a little better. But some crowds, like like Manley Fieldhouse was known to be a raucous
the
environment.
Butler, yeah, they put
St.
on
Bonaventure's crazy. What were like Butler Fieldhouse had to be a little bit nuts.
Butler was always packed just because I felt like that was like a rivalry game. Like they didn't like us, we didn't like them, and they were like kind of just down the street. They were in Indiana, we
Right.
were right there in Milwaukee. So that environment was crazy. I'm trying to think who. Not Georgetown. They didn't really have any fans like that, but it was always a good game. Um,
Creighton's got a hell of a winning streak at their home place. I mean,
they it's hard to beat them there because they play fast. Uh, they're shooting rims, and I feel like a lot of teams do this. I feel like a lot of teams do this on purpose. They have looser nets in their arena, so when the ball goes through the net, it goes straight through. It doesn't like take a while to go through the net. Creighton's go straight through and they play fast. So they get the ball out within like a second. So the game is really played like this at Creighton. So that's why it's so hard to beat them at their spot.
and
No,
McDermott's no slouch. I mean, he can draw up some stuff. He's a hell of a coach.
he's definitely a hell of a coach. I like the way he coaches. I'm sorry. Villanova would definitely be up there.
Did you
And they
play
have
Villanova on campus at the Cat House?
yeah, I played them on campus and I played them at their other arena. Um,
Oh, the Wells Fargo or
yeah,
the I forget what it's called now, but I think it was Wells Fargo at the time. Okay. All right. So any great stories that you remember, some of your traveling experiences and in those days?
I always tell this Marcus Howard story, just because it's so funny to me. But I was on the bench and I forgot who we were playing, but it was definitely in conference and the game is kind of close. I'm looking up at the scoreboard. I'm next to my close friend to this day, Greg Elliott. Um, and we're looking up and we see like Marcus has like 7 points or something like that going into halftime and we go into halftime and then everybody's talking like, "Yo, Marcus, you got to shoot more." Da 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 da. Da. So he's hearing it. He's not really saying anything. He kind of knows, and the coaches get on him just because like he's that guy and we know he's that guy and he could be that guy. And then second half, it was a different person. And then next thing you know, he has 40. So I'm like, yeah, 7 in first half, and then he had 30 something in the second half. So I'm like, yeah, he's one of the best scorers I've ever played with. It's no question.
Wow. Okay. So COVID happens and then you go to Syracuse? Just
Play
give me
that
some time
COVID.
to.
Yep. COVID happens. I played one more year at Marquette because I was 2020, 2021, going into 21. I
Yeah.
play that year for Marquette, and then I go to Syracuse 21 to 22.
Okay. So what does that look like? So you were into the portal, right?
Yeah.
Now the portal was not a big deal yet, and your movement was a big get for Syracuse. Okay.
Yeah. At that time, it was not that many people in the portal.
So what does that look like? What's the conversation that you go have with Coach Woj? Or is Coach Woj leaving and you got to talk to Shaka?
Yeah,
What's
technically, I talked to Coach Wojo before putting out that I was leaving, and he had told me like that they were pushing him out too. So it was kind of like I needed a new chapter anyway. So
But so you're both in the same boat essentially. Then, if he's saying, "Listen,
yeah,
you're going, I'm going. Good luck," and so there's no hard
yeah,
feelings, obviously.
yeah. It was kind of just like that. I guess he
So,
didn't.
so what does that look like? Do you take visits to schools, or do you just say, "Listen, hey, Coach B, I'm coming your way." What's it
Well,
look like when you're in the portal?
well, because it was COVID, it was hard to get on campuses. So it's mainly like Zoom calls. That's when Zoom really became a big thing.
Right.
Um, and it was a lot of phone calls. And I wanted to go where like someone knew me, like someone who like knew my background, knew my history, and what better place to do it to go back to than your home ground, right? And me and Coach Beheim are close. Me and his family are close. Like I talk to the Beheims like I don't know once a week, if not a lot more. So they were really close to me, and I just needed to come back home and kind of get like
Did you did you play any AAU ball with either Buddy or Joe or anybody in that
I
upstate New York?
played 3-on-3 growing up with Buddy as kids, and then he was always a year in front of me, so I didn't
Right.
get to play with him in AAU, but I got to play against him in high school. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't take a trip. What other schools were you looking at if it wasn't Syracuse? Was there anybody else on that map or no?
UMass was an option. Um, trying to. It was a lot of mid-major schools. There was a lot of schools in the A10 and
Okay.
in the CAA. So
All right. So you decide to go to Syracuse and you're stepping in. So they're thinking, hey, you're going to back up Joe, or what was the conversation?
that's that's the it's the question that I always get. And my role was really just to get everybody involved, make winning plays, and then kind of just be the best point guard I can be at that time. So
You're a completely different player, right? You're
yeah,
you're actually going to be a better, to me, distributor and flow guy. There's going to be probably a little bit better flow.
yeah.
Now, bringing that level of workout intensity, what was it like at Syracuse? Did you have to kind of try to up that game there, or was there
Oh
pretty?
yeah, like my mindset was always like, all right, if I'm not getting a lot of playing time in the game, then practice is gonna be my game. Like it's gonna be my game day, you know. So I didn't take anything like too personal. And a lot of people like ask me like, why didn't you get this many playing time? Why did you get that? Like I trust Coach Beheim, and he had a visual, and he's a Hall of Fame coach. Like you can't go against it. So it was just whether in like that just being focused and just kind of staying ready for the
Hmm.
moment. And I kind of had one of those moments the end of my junior year at the Barclays Center when I played against Florida State and Duke. So
Oh yeah.
people kind of got like a little preview of like what I can actually do a little bit in a sense of way. So, but that was mainly like my role, like to get everybody involved, uh, be a monster on the defensive end, kind of just make winning plays and kind of change the game around. And I feel like I did that when I came into the game. Like it was just a different pace, different game, and it was
So
exciting.
talk defense, right? Because you're definitely a hell of a defender, a physical guard, play on the ball, play off the ball, didn't matter. Now, that's different going from Marquette to Syracuse man zone.
Yeah,
What was that like making that adjustment?
yeah. I mean, it wasn't so. What people don't know is Syracuse's zone has man-to-man principles.
100%. It's a matchup.
So it's
It's
not
not your
it's not
grandmother's 2-3. That's
yeah,
what it's not.
it's not an actual zone. It just looks like it. And if you don't like know the movements, then it can be hard for you. But it was pretty. I mean, it was pretty easy to me. Like, um, I feel like the hardest spots were the guards because you're consistently moving. Like you're nonstop moving, and if you do stop, then you're gonna give up a three or you're gonna give up a middle drive. So something is gonna happen. So it's really all on the guards at the top of
Yeah,
top of
you
the
got to get over
key.
those screens. You can't go under those screens.
Get over the screens. You gotta protect the flash a little bit. And you just gotta make sure like no one catches and shoots like a rhythm three. So
So talk about some of your favorite guys that you've played with. You talk about Marcus Howard. Just talk about some of the guys that you really like enjoyed sharing the floor with.
Buddy is definitely uh in my top players. Um Cole, I learned from a lot of people. I can really just name like all well, how many teams have it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can name all five rosters to be honest, from starters to walk-ons. Because I really spend like time with all of like my teammates. Like I take that personally just because I know that makes a team better, and I know that can do for you in the long run. Like the world is about relationships. You never know what you may need or who may need you at the time. So, but
You're a born coach. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know if that's in your I don't know if that's in
I
your
want to I want
it's
to
in your
do it.
DNA though.
I want to do it someday, and
Yeah.
hopefully, like when the ball stops bouncing for me, I can do it. But yeah, like Buddy Behind, Joe, these are my local guys too. Like I played basketball with them since I was 5 years old. Obviously Marcus. My second year I had a good crew at Marquette. Kobe McEwen, Shakar Adam, Greg Elliott, uh, my guy Justin Lewis.
Hmm.
Yeah, I miss my guys. And then my senior year was fun too because I got to see like the freshmen, the young core, Judah, Benny, Quadir. I talked to Quadir a lot. Um,
Yeah,
and
those
Z.
guys came in and they played a lot, those guys too. Chris Bell,
Yeah,
Justin
they
Taylor.
they were
Yeah.
those are my guys right there. I talked to
Hmm.
them a lot. So, and then you got obviously you can't forget about the Binghamton group. Like, I feel like those guys definitely have like a big spot in my heart just because of like that summer was last summer was a good summer just because of how hard everybody worked, how hard everybody puts themselves, and then obviously talking about goals with each other individually and stuff like that. So it was a memorable year last year.
Now, did you play with Armand? Was that his
Yeah, that was Nuke. Yep, I played with Nuke.
nuke? See, people don't know that Armand Harid's dad, Herman, and I
Yeah,
played ball
people don't
together at
know.
Syracuse.
Yeah,
So
I knew that.
we
I
go
knew
back a
that.
ways, Herman and I.
Yeah.
And he came up behind me at it was at a practice. I was sitting there, and then he comes up behind me, and I was like, "Oh my God, I hadn't seen him in a bit, you know." And he's still in great shape, and he's a great high school coach. All right, so let's talk after you finish up, you get some grad degrees at Binghamton, and then you go to Finland next
Yes,
or
sir.
Belgium next.
Finland first.
So what does that look like in terms of draft and communications? And do they reach out to you? Do they say, "Hey, do you have an agent?" How do you get to that point?
Yeah, so I have an agent right now, and I actually have two. One that I talk to every day, and then one that kind of makes the big moves and the big decisions. So I'm still learning how this goes, but as of right now, whenever they get a call from teams uh in different countries, they kind of just contact my agent. And they say like this is what we need, da da da, and then my agents kind of get back to me like, hey, this might be a good fit, but they don't say like this is the right fit or anything. Like they just give me like open ears. They're just telling me like what's going on. You're being talked about. Uh, Kind of just keep staying in the gym, keep working out.
So you're at let's go back to your Binghamton, right? You're finishing up at Binghamton. What does that transition look like? Do you get an agent? How does that? Because it's new to a lot of people, right? They just know
Yeah.
now that they're seeing a lot of foreign players in the NBA. Like, but how does it start from college to bridge that gap overseas? What happens?
Um. So There's agents in the United States and there's also agents overseas, and they come at you like they come to get you. So if you don't ask like for like specific agents and stuff like that, then you're gonna have some agents coming at you through social media and stuff like that. So that's really what it
So
comes
they're hitting
down
you up
to.
on Instagram or Twitter, whatever. And they're saying, "Hey, Si, this is me. I'm going to help you."
Yep,
Right.
yep. That's basically what it is. And
So
then
you got to interview them and hire them, or what do you do?
technically, yeah, like you have a phone conversation with them, and then you kind of see where they kind of see where your goals are at, and you kind of see where their goals is at, and what they have for you, and if you commit to them, like what are the deals and stuff like that. So it's kind of like you're kind of like your own boss in a way. Like you're
So you
picking,
become a CEO. You
yeah,
become
you're
your own
picking
business.
who's working for you.
So what did that look like? How many guys are chasing you down? What'd you do?
Oh, it was a lot, but I kind of didn't pay him too much mind because at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was dealing with a foot injury, and it was like really bad at the time. So I was kind of thinking like, hey, should I like take a year off? Should I start getting into coaching now? And then all of a sudden, somebody that I knew from my AU, my AU coach Hart, Coach Jim Hart, he knew somebody that was in the agency business and that wanted to talk to me, and then I got in contact with him, and he watched my game since I was in fifth grade, so that was really easy for me to like decide for him because he knew my game from fifth grade to now. So
So that's a trusted person that can help get you through some shark infested waters,
yeah, for
right?
sure, because he's seen the grind, he's seen the lows, he's seen the highs, so he knows what's best, and then he's the guy that I talk to almost every day, and then obviously he works with another guy that makes decisions for me.
Okay, so you get one agent or you get two agents? You get
Some
a
people,
American agent or you get a European agent? What's it
yeah.
look?
So I got two Americans. So I'm blessed because a
So
lot of
they're
people don't
both
get that.
working for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said one makes the major moves, one makes. Now, do you have to like what they get paid? Is it flat rate? What do you pay them? What do you pay? What's that look like?
So it just started that the players have to start paying their agents, but before it was the clubs overseas that was just paying the agents straight up. So
Okay, so
I
you
didn't
were
really know what that looked like. So I'm
yeah.
gonna know what that looked like this year, but this past year, my first year, I didn't know what that looked like.
So this is new now. This is a
Yeah,
new thing. Okay. Well, you're definitely a CEO now. Now you got to look at your payroll, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right. Now, do they help you get like sponsors and that kind of stuff?
Yes. So they kind of just find the best deals for you, um, and then they're not gonna take obviously any deal. They're gonna make sure like it's the right fit, right deal for you, and that you can go on from it and make more money possibly.
Now, do you have anything going on right now in the summer? You guys got any sponsors, or you got to do anything like for camps for this company or anything like that?
Not this summer, but next summer I'll have some some big moves that I'm making with the high school kids. Uh, I've been like kind of prepping for it, and I didn't want to start it until like it was finished. I wanted to be special, especially for like a Syracuse native. So um, that's coming up. And then I got some other stuff that I'm working on. So yeah, a couple stuff.
Now, when you graduate too, there was another couple of really good Syracuse players that did they both end up at Bonaventure?
You're talking about
Roundabout, they were right about your time.
You talking about they grew up in Syracuse and then went to
Yeah.
St. Bonaventure? Oh, you talking about Micah and Charles?
Yes. What was the
Yeah,
second name? I knew Micah. What was the second name?
Charles
Yeah.
Pride. Those are my close friends too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was actually fun to play against them too. That was funny, but it wasn't fun that they won, but it was
Now,
fun.
did they graduate? Are they overseas too, or what's
Yes,
happening?
yes. So Charles is actually playing right now in New Zealand. So he's still playing right now, but that was like this is kind of like for the summer. Micah was in Germany at the time. Me and him are both back. I think he's down in Florida training right now, and then I'll be down in Tennessee in a couple weeks training too. So
So now talk about training. Do you have to hire a trainer? Are there trainers that are kind of tied into this level, or how do you
yeah,
find
see,
the
like
type of
I
training?
have I have good I have good agents, so they kind of help me with that, and they kind of pay for that in a sense. So I won't have to worry about that stuff. That stuff.
Okay. All right. Okay, a couple last questions and we'll wrap up. We'll let you go. Appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. Thanks for having
Okay.
me.
So, words of advice. You got a youngster, you're working with him. He's a sophomore, he's starting to get some looks. What are some pieces of advice that you would share with someone today who might be playing at a higher college level?
See, today is tough because it's changed so much. Got NIL now. Uh, just got so much stuff going on. But I think it's a lot. It's a lot harder for high school guys to go right into college now just because of the portal and stuff. So but what I would tell a sophomore kid, you kind of gotta stay like once you have your circle, your team, kind of have to start assigning roles in a way to make sure, all right, the people that are around you are actually like helping you in a way. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could just be like your mom always telling you like, hey, at this time, like you have to do this, like, or your dad telling you, okay, at nighttime you got to stretch. Just making sure that you're on top of your game. So I would say building a team, uh, that's gonna surround you in the best way possible. And you're gonna do the same, obviously. So you're a team you're a team that's building and you're working and you're helping each other be the best version of yourself. And then the second thing is just kind of just being in the moment. Um, being in the moment meaning not letting the past hurt or the past kind of reflect where you are now and not going too far ahead in the future, which a lot of people do a lot. And it's okay to look in the future, but for you to get to the future, you have to work on your present, if that makes sense. So,
Well, no, it does. It does, and I think the reality of it is, you're such a thoughtful guy. It's changed. You got coaches like Patino, who's a big mouthpiece now across the country for colleges, and he's saying we're not recruiting high school kids. I have a very good friend of mine here in town, and his son is a hell of a swimmer, right? He's a junior. He got all kinds of looks. All of a sudden, all those schools are saying to him, listen, we're just going to go in the portal.
yep,
Like they've dried up. There's going to be a lot of kids who don't have scholarship opportunities in
yeah.
colleges. And that's the
What
reality.
I would say to that, and if I could go back and do it all over again, I would just go to a school where I would average 30 plus minutes, just because of like you're gonna get better, just because you're gonna have 30 plus minutes, and once you're winning, then the schools that you wanted to go to at first are going to start to see you, and then that's how you get in that way. I feel like that's the easier way because you see a lot of mid to low major players start to
Yeah.
make it further and make it longer.
That becomes the G League, right?
Yeah, you got Derek White, his story. John Morant came from Murray State. You got CJ McCollum.
Hmm.
There's all these guys that didn't go to a crazy blue blood school.
Yeah.
So there's other ways to make it where you want to go. You just have to grind. It's definitely a grind.
Okay. Last question. Give me a story about one of your favorite college moments, Big East or not.
Favorite college moments. So
Light bulb went off.
So this is my senior year at Cuse. Um, like I said, like my role wasn't really to shoot. A lot of people didn't know that. A lot of people thought I was like scared to shoot. It just wasn't my role. It's kind of like same thing with Draymond. Like it's not
Right.
that he can't score. It's just that that's not his role. Like there's other players on the team that do that role. So, my senior year, I was just kind of focusing on my jump shot. Like I focused on it like all summer, and I made sure like because Coach Behan makes his own decisions, so I made sure like whenever he was in his office, he's gonna see me in the gym working on my shot, and that's what I did. And he saw the improvements, he saw the effort, and he saw that I was actually progressing. Like I was actually making shots. He saw the open runs and stuff like that. So he's like okay,
Mhm.
I can give Sai some leeway. So we get to practice, and Coach Beheim has never called me a shooter. Never once even said he's a little bit of a like he never said it. So it's we're doing something. I think we're doing like 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 or something. Shell, and I'm on the offensive end, and one of my teammates get an offensive rebound, and I'm right behind him for like a pass back three, one of the best threes that you can get uh
Right.
out of an offense, and he doesn't pass it, and then Coach Beheim kind of blows his whistle. He never does this either. He blows his whistle and then tells like whoever got the I forgot who got the rebound at the time, but he tells whoever got the rebound at the time like there's a shooter behind you. And I looked at G Mac and I said, "You talking about?" I kind of smirked. And I said, "You talking about me?" Because G Mac shook his head like, "Yeah, all that work is paying off." So that kind of was a good moment, and I felt good after hearing that. So that was a good moment. And Coach
Beautiful.
Beheim is for people that don't know like and haven't spoke to him in person. He's very bold. Like he really says things that's like on his mind. He doesn't think. He says it,
There's
and
no filter.
it's not in a
There's no
bad way,
there's no
but
filter. There's no
yeah,
filter. It comes
he
out.
he's starting to have one a little bit, but it's not in him, and that's what I love about Chris Behan. Like he's all
That's a huge redeeming quality.
that's what
100%.
I'm that's what I'm gonna that's why I love Coach Behan because he's always gonna stick to like what he knows and who he is. So I can never be disappointed or mad about a person's thoughts or something like that if that's truly who they are. So, you know,
I told people, I said, you don't like his answer, ask a different question.
exactly.
He's if you don't want to hear the answer, then don't ask the question.
Yeah.
And it was refreshing, right? He would talk about events and games and refs, and he would say the things that young coaches were not able to say. And
Yeah.
right, he was most often he was right on the money. So
His press conferences kind of gave him some
some
all of
legendary press
yeah.
conferences. All right, well, Dave, thanks for taking a minute with us. With me today, I miss Chuck with me, but thanks, I appreciate it, man. I know you're probably going to work out, you said, so
Yeah, I'm about to
get
go to
on it.
right now. I just signed up for the TBT, so
Oh,
hopefully
nice.
hopefully we win the 19th, and then the next game will be against Cuse, and that'd be a good game to come
Oh,
to.
so you're not with the we're not with the Syracuse guys?
No, I'm not with the Syracuse guys.
Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye on you.
Okay,
Okay, man. Thanks.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it. All right, you've been listening to the Big East Rewind tonight. Sunny Spirit, you're stuck with me alone. Sorry about that, folks. Chuck is out busy working. And it is brought to you by our producers, Nick Chico Chorus, Daryl Gurney. And I'm your host, unfortunately, only by myself tonight. Hopefully, I did okay. And got a chance to talk to Symir Torrence and get a little bit of insights in the Marquette program and a little bit of Syracuse and of course a little bit of Binghamton. That's a little home flair. That was easier for me. Okay, so hope you all have a good one. Appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends, please. We're on YouTube. You find us on anything where you find your podcast. And if it's something you don't like, you want to hear, you want to see, hit me up, hit us up. BigEastRewind@gmail.com, or I'm SunnySpirit@gmail.com. Send it to me directly. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys.